All right, guys.
Alright,
Now we gotta start real recording this time.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Right, it started.
All right. So, yeah. So you guys all read the paper, and then what do you guys learn from the paper?
Okay, so as far as I know, let's summarize the whole paper. So this guy is talking about strategic entrepreneurship. He's
Yeah.
saying that companies are dying if they don't dynamically challenge themselves and
Mm-hmm.
innovate accordingly the new customer expectations.
Yeah.
So he's talking about exploration and exploitation.
Yeah.
So he says that first you need to explore whatever you have on your table
Mm-hmm.
and organize those things, keep them in front of you, and then go for exploitation. Focus on them and try to learn
Yeah.
how to use them to provide a customer value proposition for
There'll
out of
be-
those things.
There'll be
So
exploitation.
that's
Yeah.
the I think a very minimum wholesome of the summary of the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, he discusses about the organizational actions, like what kind of implications we get out of those,
Yeah.
our exploration and exploitation
Mm-hmm.
exercises, and how to organize them in terms of achieving the value proposition the company needs to march
I
ahead.
believe he also gave some examples in there, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, some example.
so I guess for us to fill up the case analysis worksheet, we'll need some qualitative and quantitative data. So
Okay.
I guess one example for the quantitative data would be the whatever he mentioned at first, that only 26% of the Fortune 100 company
Yeah.
remained since 19 something until 2001. I think that was the
Yeah. So
data.
like within 20 years, almost
Yeah, most of
70. How much is left?
74%
is dead.
Yes,
Or they are not
74%.
the part of the top
Uh-huh.
100. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that states that if we don't challenge and if we don't dynamically change
Mhm.
ourselves, we're gonna be disappearing.
I guess a lot of the example we can think of is also mentioned in class, like Blockbuster. Netflix is a disruptive technology that
Yeah.
disrupted Blockbuster, and like AT&T got disrupted as well. Right now, it's not even the original AT&T anymore. There used to be a telecommunication company, the telephone, right?
Yeah,
I remember
AT&T
it was
just bought
AT&T.
Time Warner.
So yeah, they are in the process of buying Time Warner. So
Yes.
Time Warner is the market leader in terms of premium and premium content providers. So
Mhm.
they own CNN, they own HBO, like one of the top best
Yes.
content providers
Yeah.
in terms of news or soap operas or whatever.
Mhm.
So yeah, they have to work against those disruptive technologies to keep
know.
themselves alive
But-
and keep capturing.
Because that's what
values.
this paper is suggesting. Like, companies have to follow this exploitation and exploitation
Okay.
sort of view.
So our problem, the first would be like define the problem, describe the type of case, what problems or issues should be focused for your analysis.
The problem is
Oh.
they mentioned is for firms how to balancing the exploration and exploitation is
Yeah.
difficult. Yeah.
So problem would be, in my opinion, problem would be that there is extremely fast change going on in the
Mhm.
market in any kind of industry. So that is the problem. And if a company has to survive, they have to keep innovating. They
Yeah.
have to create their
And-
competitive advantages.
Yes.
And just like Z mentioned, there's also you need to find the balance, not just innovating, not just investing.
Yeah.
You can't overdo certain part. You have to find a balance between those points.
Yeah. So that would be our problem. So
Yeah.
like
So I guess that's the problem.
fighting the
Balance.
Finding the balance between
finding the
balance
balance.
between exploration and exploitation
Yeah.
and exploitation.
And exploitation. Yeah. So that
Yeah.
would be our problem.
And then, so I guess the second one, we have to list any outside concept that can be applied. Outside concept. Well, I don't know. I can't think of any on top of my head. What do you guys think? Outside concept.
Framework or series they can be applied to this case.
Outside concept. Now we're stuck. You know.
I mean, with the outside concept for supporting the defined problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I get it here. You say the degree of centralization of authority and the standard
Standardization.
of the procedures and the formalization of the process are three structural mechanics an organizer used to support the exploration and exploitation.
I guess it's a structural mechanic thing.
So, in my opinion, it would be like he's asking for something totally out of the box
Yeah.
ideas, like totally different
But
and
I
taking
can-
out from there.
That's why I was saying I can't think of any right now.
Yeah.
Outside concept.
Well, I guess we'll skip that for now. Let's go to relevant qualitative data, and we'll come back to that later because it's not on this time on that.
Yeah, the data you guys just
Yeah, we
mentioned,
just
26% of company, right?
Mhm.
In some way.
That's quantitative. Now we need qualitative.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So qualitative data. Is there any example in the paper that mention any qualitative data? I don't remember it at
So-
this stage.
Okay, look here. Is it quality?
Despite the setback.
Yeah, for the Intel. This is give the example for Intel.
Well, can you summarize this for me? What did he say?
Just saying that Intel just keep invest the money for exploitation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they set up their own capital investment in 1990s.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And how did it end up? Contribute investing over this much, and then venture spending mobile internet, product, digital home application, hardware and software, numerous other emerging technology. Portfolio investment represent a sizable. Okay, I guess one of I don't know if this is considered qualitative or quantitative because they did give number, but it's an example of Intel over investing in like overdoing the exploration part, but not enough exploitation. I guess
Okay.
this is what the example is trying to say. They did a lot of exploration, but you know
But they truly get a benefit from it.
they
Say,
did.
before losing the 632 million in 2001 because of their capital investment.
Of course, okay. Did we benefit a lot from it? R&D. I know a few other company does a lot of R&D. It's IBM. IBM also does a lot of R&D. IBM does spend a lot of money in all kind of research.
I guess he's talking about a lot of qualitative things right now in the introduction part. So he's
Yeah.
saying like we have a lot of such examples. They have covered like totally so many industries, so many firms in different industries, and where they are talking about how globalization and the globalized business environment itself is challenging the industry itself and the firms inside the industry. So this kind of data, this kind of facts that states that of course all the industrial firms are getting the challenges, that needs to bring us on the table that how should we compete, how should we march ahead, and how should we find, how should we how much we should risk about our how much like how to balance exploration and exploitation.
So
So
we should
that
list
should
that
be
as a qualitative data.
qualitative data. So things are, in my opinion, it would be
That's
firms
qualitative.
and industry in of different industries are facing challenges through globalized industry, globalized.
For changing environment, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
changing environment is a good way. Quantitative data. There's a lot of quantitative data in here.
Yeah, there's a lot of facts he has provided. us.
Just list a few.
Through change in through globalized changes.
Quantitative.
Alright.
I think I'm missing R of there.
That's what I take it.
Quantitative.
Corporate venture
So for these can be the quantitative data, right?
I guess this is qualitative data.
Okay, quantitative.
Quantitative, sorry.
Quantitative, I guess. Quantitative, yeah.
Yeah, in general, recent corporate actions suggest that increase the rate and complexity of environmental changes, flying from seeking more efficient operational means of exploration compared to Major acquisition, strategic alliance, and corporate.
Here's one more example for GE.
There's a lot of examples in here. Their effective SE practices find firm realizing that adapting
Quantitative. Another
change
quantitative example.
to newness.
Yeah, so first would be like only 26% is left out of the total 100 within 20 years, like from 1980 to 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is, remember we were discussing in our class few weeks back that 52% of the top 500 companies are gone
Yeah,
within 14 years.
that's just the
Yeah, so that was the data from 2014. So like from 2000 to 2014, around 252 companies were gone.
Good going, right?
The top top 500 companies of the top 500 companies. So this is really big number in terms of giving us the idea that how much these challenges are like really